single one would say that.
Okay.
I don't know that the front office would say that or his coaches would say that, but his teammates would be like, get yours.
I've always heard pro athletes, you tell me if I'm wrong, when guys are fighting for their chicken, it's off limits. You don't even speak on it.
Get yours.
Wow.
Get yours. It's time. But don't take too long because we need you.
CeeDee Lamb in Dallas, also another top-tier receiver. I do think personally he's better than Brandon Aiyuk, but he's putting up more numbers. He's in a different offense. He didn't show up for OTAs. And I know Jamar Chase is out there, the great Jamar Chase. He's due for a new deal. So I just, I want information that I'm not privy to. I'm nosy by nature, FP. But I wish I could just fast forward or simulate the next week or month or months just to see what the number is going to be for Brandon Aiyuk if it still remains a Niner. And if I'm John Lynch and I'm Kyle Shanahan and I got this great movie-like quarterback, mystery relevant, that just looks the part, and now this year is the last year before we can break him off some change, and I'm about to give him 30 to 40 to 50 M's. I mean, I need Brandon Aiyuk out there as my best receiver, and as you mentioned, route runner. I guess I'm asking you, what's so hard and what's maybe taking what I deem, and maybe some Niner fans, a little too long? Like, why when are we going to get that news or that domino to fall?
It's a part of sports I hate the most, the whole business side of it with agents and contracts and stipulations. Is Brandon Aiyuk a $30 million a year player? I will ask you right now.
See, the world, to me, and you ask me, the world has changed. He can be a $30 million player if the market tells you that's what the going rate is. But he really might be a $21 million player, if that makes sense. Isn't it a catch-22? It's kind of, what are the other guys getting paid? But I guess it's part of, how much does your boss value you?
Justin Jefferson.
Oh, good God.
4 years, 140, $34 million per. He surpassed Nick Bosa.
Man. And so, he's worth every penny to me.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 years, 120. Jalen Waddle, 3 years, 84.75.
See, that's what we're talking about.
Waddle, 251 receptions, 3,300 yards, 18 touchdowns over the past 3 seasons. Ayuk, 209 catches, 31, 83, 20 touchdowns.
In a different system, too.
So what's 3 divided by 84? What's he making per?
2, 3, 20-something.
Calculator out here.
Verducci, hold on. We'll get to you here shortly. But, yeah, if you're asking me, it's what the market dictates, right?
$28 million a year.
Okay.
For Jalen Waddle's $28 million a year. So maybe Ayuk's in the $26 to $28 million. I don't know that he's going to get 30.
But if Evan's right, and this news kind of irritates him because he feels like he should have been taken care of first, could be totally wrong, maybe that's at 31. Maybe he wants 30. But are you going to really, if you're the Niners, make this be a distraction if you're just off by, and it's easy for me to say a mil or two?
It's not a distraction yet.
It's got to be bigger.
Kittle, Warner, Debo, Bosa, massive extensions. Not one of them signed before mid-July.
All right.
So
this is just part, okay.
Just like the Giants in the trade deadline, I'll worry about Ayuk around the trade deadline.
If I'm a Niner fan driving around hearing you say that, nothing to see here. Then.
Nothing to see here. It's OTAs. It's like flag football. Who cares?
You sound like our guy in El Dorado Hills. I call it EDH. That's your hometown.
That is.
Yeah. I used to go to a place called Max. You remember Max?
I grew up there with his pickup trucks and barbed wire fences and cows and horses.
EDH.
Not Mercedes and all kinds of fake stuff.
Mini camp. Yeah, thank you. Let's go out to Verducci. What's up, Verducci?
What's up, baby? What's up, my fellow Paisans and FP? Great to talk to you again. You have to understand when it comes to this whole idea with Aiyuk, it's relax. You just got to relax, baby. Guru, everything's going to be okay. I'm rubbing those shoulders. Take a seat. You're acting like an Italian right now. Sometimes we get a little dramatic.
Spadoni.
I'm just saying. Yes, Spadoni is back there.
All right, I'm relaxed.
But what I'm saying is, has Lynch never taken care of ever his people? No, he's always taking care of them. He's going to take care of Aiyuk. He knows the value. He sees the connection between him and Purdy, and it's one of his own that he drafted and everything else. So my biggest thing is Shanahan going to take that step? I'm worried about Shanahan because you can have all the weapons that you want, but is he going to take that step and actually put his pride aside and know that there's weakness in some of his areas, that he can actually dial up the right plays at the right time when you have all this talent. That's what I want to see, baby. So, Guru, don't worry about it. Aiyuk will be ready. It's OTAs. Who cares? I want him in training camp. And you know what? Let's go, Niners.
Verducci, thanks for the phone call. I will say this, a lot of great calls, and we could bat it around. I got you till Thursday. Yeah, I got you till Thursday, FP, about Kyle and what's on his to-do list and his growth. But give me this and tell me what you think, and I mean it. Okay, when Debo did his song and dance with holding out or you wanting money, nobody went before him and got paid. Same last year with Bosa. And I know life is about timing, but it is odd. And I do wonder how or if Brandon Aiyuk is irritated knowing, okay, I'm in this situation, everybody knows it, and then somebody comes before you to get their money.
I mean, it seems like he's sensitive.
Oh, wow. I appreciate you saying that.
If he's going on Twitter and his relatives are going on Instagram.
And he said, I don't share my food. Why should I have to share my food? Whatever that means.
I mean, this is all pure speculation because I don't know Brandon Aiyuk from this cup of coffee I'm drinking right now. But it could. It has potential to. But, man, you just want yours. If it were me, I want mine. I don't care who goes first. I don't care who goes last.
Wow.
I could have signed before Christian McCaffrey for a crap deal. And then I sign before McCaffrey. Am I happy? Or do I just wait and get what I want? I don't think the order should be, but I can't speak for him. I don't know. I don't think the order should matter. It's just, do I want my years? Do I want my guarantees? Do I want my average salary per year? Where do I want? And if I get all those, I get them. And if I have to wait, I'm going to wait. Because I could go out on game one and somebody blow out my knee and never play again.
You're right. It is.
So wow. I'm gonna get mine when I get mine. And I'm going to get a lot of it guaranteed. I think the key in the NFL is the part that you get guaranteed. And every time I see that, my ears perk up. Because, I hated the business side. I hated the agents calling me and saying they're offering this and you want this. And I hated that.
Have you ever fired an agent?
I have.
Where you guys didn't get...
I don't want to say ooh, who am I to fire?
No, I'm being real.
I'm a big deal.
You don't agree with his method.
Yeah, I had an agent for my first 3 years in the big leagues that I went 3 for 4 against the Cubs, and he was there, and he came out. And he said, what happened on that strikeout? I said, I got 3 hits today, man. You want to talk about my strikeout? And he kept doing that, like emphasizing the negative part. And I'm a positive dude. So finally, at the end of the year, I'm like, dude, you're always emphasizing what I'm not doing instead of what I'm doing. And I feel like that could, A, has an effect on me. And B, if you're you're the one negotiating for me and you're seeing only the bad things that I do, then I got to move in a different direction. And not emphasize what I did well, and that's a consistent. It wasn't just a joke, one thing where he did it.
Support me.
Yeah, support me. Like, if anyone's going to support me, it's going to be my agent, because if I make money, you make a percentage of it. And if you're going to always say, like, well, what happened on that one fly ball or what happened on that strikeout, it just was nails on the chalkboard to me. So man. I said, I'm going to move in a different direction. But I forget what the question was. I went off on a tangent.
Fired the agent.
I'm out.
But I thought you fired him for lack of support. I love that, Evan. For lack of support. Some fire them because they don't like how they're dealing, what the message they're conveying to the organization or the entity that they're trying to get more money from. Yeah. And some people on the text line are wondering, is Brandon Aiyuk, is he really asking for this money? Obviously he is. Or is the agent really trying to bring the house down? Because if I knew I wanted to be a part of a team that I'm on, and I feel like you're being attacked, you want more than me, then we would have a problem, because now you're affecting my future with that team, if that makes any sense.
Another thing, Guru, why people move in a different direction from agents is you hear stories like, well, they don't want to take a call from your agent, or your agent isn't very popular behind the scenes. Yeah. And if your agent can't get access to the avenues he needs to get access to in order to get a deal done, or your agent isn't well liked by the organization, that can affect things. So it's not just like a movie where it's like Tom Cruise going to... If they don't like Tom Cruise, if they don't like Tom Cruise and he's got a reputation of and they see his name come up on the phone and they just bounce. They bounce.
Yeah, underrated. Yeah.
So there's so many different things to go into whether you keep an agent or move in a different direction.
You are a positive dude, and I want to give you credit for that. Now, again, I'm not just yapping. I am team Brandon Aiyuk. I hope he goes nowhere.
Me too.
I don't think this offense, the rat on the table to me really behind the scenes is he will never be utilized like the others, the Justin Jeffersons, the CeeDee Lambs, and guys that have that mechanism, that have that degree of competition. The way you quiet that inner beast and have him still be a part of your team. And again, he's going to score, but he'll never be featured like those other guys, is you pay him. It's not an overpay, but that's how you keep that inner beast within. And Brandon Aiyuk, I feel like Dr. Phil, Brandon Aiyuk will feel like, he's taken care of. But if you want to kind of shortchange me and then on the field, I don't get the opportunities, that's where I believe you have a problem. And again, you being the former athlete, I know you're saying it's minicamp, and I get that. But and we hear a lot of times, the fine money, we'll just throw that away. It's not even real. When you sign, we're all good. But I do think there's something here now that it is minicamp, but he's getting fined. And what Meiko said, $104,000 and some change over the next 3 days. Okay, being proactive or the glass half empty, what's the next stage of him not showing up? Does this bleed into training camp? So, again, everything you just talked about, and Scott Boras did, I'm going baseball. I mean, he just did Snell no disservice and all his clients by having them sign late and trying to just, control everything. And look what happened. But the Bosa one is an NFL one we can point to and say Bosa didn't have his best season, wasn't bad, because of the holdout, and hopefully it doesn't get to that point with Aiyuk.
Yeah, you don't want to play uphill. You're going to be a salmon swimming upstream all season long trying to play catch up. If I were Brandon Aiyuk's agent, I would say you paid Juwan Jennings $10.5 million for catching 19 balls last year. Well, let's see how many I caught, more than that, and just go up from 10. So when you get to where I'm at, we're around 30. I don't know. $10 million for Juwan Jennings. Do you think that gets it done?
Like if the breaking news sounder went off and Evan hit it and he said, Aiyuk got 30, 35, would that floor you? It wouldn't for me.
You know what's cool right now about what we're talking about is I was on air for the whole Bosa thing, and everybody's attitude on air callers was like, we're not worried about Nick Bosa. We're not worried about him. I don't care when he signs. As long as he doesn't miss a game, I don't care. That was everybody's take. I don't know what your guys' take was, because Nick Bosa's jacked and he's lifting weights.
His mom said he was working out.
He's working out, and everybody was fine with it, including myself. Until you see that he was playing uphill all season long.
Man.
Nobody had a problem with Nick Bosa's holding out. Okay, it's Nick Bosa. He's jacked. He's fine. Nobody had a problem with Blake Snell holding out. I went on here and blew up all three Boras guys.
Okay.
I said, if you love baseball, get your ass to camp. And you're going to hold out for $1 million here, $1 million there, while your teammates are in spring training, learning each other in the locker room, learning each other in the clubhouse, learning each other as players. It's invaluable. And there's a reason why spring training's been there for over 140 years. There's a reason why training camp is there. There's a reason why NBA camp is there. Like, you have to gear up for a season. Plus, it just shows that you love the game more than you love money. And if you love money more in the game, I don't know how I feel about that.
But those players exist, and you played with them.
Get yours. But, I don't want you walking in opening day. Get yours within reason. I don't want you walking in for game one of the season.
So all the guys on the Niners, when Bosa came in, showed up in this camp, they were all good.
Get yours.
All right.
But then...
let's go to the old ship after practice.
But we saw how it affects you, how it affects the team. There's no replacement for reps. There's no replacement for... I know preseason games in the NFL don't mean anything, but like live rounds, those are a big thing because you're playing against the best of the best of the best. Everybody in the NFL is a 4'5", 40, 300 pounds, 6'8". It ain't like college where you're the best player. And everybody in baseball is the top however many hundred players in the world. And even on the worst teams that we make fun of, those guys have streets named after them in their hometown. They have welcome to
big man on campus,
welcome to wherever, home of whoever, and he's the last guy on the roster. So these are the best of the best of the best. And if you could just think you could just show up, that's why I think as fans, we think, oh, he's off the disabled list or the injured list. Sorry. He's off the injured list. Yeah. And now here he comes. It's going to take another week or two to get back.
Well, that's snail. That's what's scary about snail. It's a month, but is it really?
So my long-winded story is, and we're killing 4 hours on the radio here, is that I don't want Brandon Aiyuk to be playing uphill. I don't want him to be slow, a step and a half or half a step. He won't be a step and a half a step slower, or maybe he's got to take a route off because he's not in the greatest shape, game shape. There's in shape and there's game shape. Train all off season, running up hills, parachutes, sleds with weights on them. I'm doing all this stuff, and then you take 30 ground balls in the first day of camp, and you're locked up and you're sore. So there's game shape, and there's in shape, and there's game shape. And game shape's all that adrenaline mixed with all the fast twitch, mixed with you're thinking 100 miles an hour on what your assignment is or what pitch is coming. All of that. There's no way to replicate that. The best way to replicate it is in camp. You can't be on a side field striking out 18-year-olds. You can't be on a side field doing rope ladders or practicing with a high school football team. You can't be in a gym just shooting by yourself. And then all of a sudden, it's opening day. It's opening night. It just doesn't work that way, man.
I love that. And I mean it. And you know who else knows that? The coaches. Kyle, John, who played the game. So let me read this text to you, 510FP. Stop it, Guru. This is nothing to be negative about. I'm a Niner fan. Okay, but with what you just said, and you said it perfectly, let's just remove the talent from these two players or the gap that we perceive there is between Christian McCaffrey and Brandon Aiyuk. Why was McCaffrey's deal done, and why is Aiyuk still not?
Because there's probably more details to Aiyuk's because it's for longer term. It's for, if I'm speculating, and I would say in your defense, you're not being negative. I think you might be worrying about something you don't have to worry about.
Well, what if one guy deems he's more valuable than the organization thinks? This is what you get. You know what I mean? There's a pause.
Isn't he? My argument
well, I don't know what he's asking for. If you're trying to get Justin Jefferson money, then, hey, come on now, put the Hennessy down. You know you're not in that realm. You know you're not that type of dude. But the St. Brown or whatever number he's asking, I feel like the Niners might be, they're hitting pause like, FP, you're not worth that.
I think he's
and
better.
That's why I'm just trying to tell some fans, don't be naive to think this is just a nothing burger.
I think Brandon Aiyuk's better than St. Brown. I don't think it's even close.
All right, you're not by yourself.
He's bigger. He's more physical.
But do the Niners think that way? And if they did, they would feel comfortable, and he probably would be wrapped up by now and out there on the field today, even though it's minicamp.
But there's so much other it goes into where does it fit in the cap and all that stuff that I don't care about. It's math and it makes my head blow up.
But McCaffrey was easy. All that worked out.
Yeah, because his was already in place, and they added a couple more million a year, and they guaranteed it. Which is, I think it's all he wanted was a guarantee. And then you're like, wait, I'm the best or the second best or the first best running back in the NFL. I rushed for 1,400 yards last year. I caught another 600 yards in passes. I'm your